Alrighty, second graders, we're going to continue reading Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, and we're going to finish up chapter 2. In this chapter, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle was giving Hubert's mother advice on how to get him to pick up toys. So here we go. When Hubert's mother hung up the telephone, she heard a muffled shouting from the direction of Hubert's room. She hurried upstairs and listened outside the door. Hubert was shouting, "Mother, I'm hungry!" His mother said, "Go over to the window, dear. I will have to send something up to you on the rake." Mrs. Prentice took a crusty piece of bread, a very old loaf of bread, spread some peanut butter on it, and took it around to the side of the house. Pretty soon, Hubert's window was raised about a foot, and a hand and an arm appeared. His mother stuck the bread on the rake of the tines and poked it up to the window. The hand groped around for a while and then found the bread and jerked it off. The window banged shut. That night, Hubert's father came home and his mother told him about Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's treatment. His father said, "Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle sounds all right, but none of this would have happened if Hubert's grandfather hadn't have given him so many toys. When I was a boy, all I needed to have was a good old time was a piece of string and a stick." Here's a picture. And them getting food to Hubert. Mrs. Prentice said, "Not that an old string and stick routine again, John. Anyway, now that Hubert has the toys, the picture has changed." Mr. Prentice hid his face behind the evening paper and said, "Something smells delicious. Is it Irish stew, I hope?" "Yes, dear," said Hubert's mother, worrying about how she was going to serve Irish stew to Hubert on a rake. She finally put a potato in one of the prongs and a carrot in the other, and an onion in another piece of meat in the other three. The window was opened only about 3 inches, but the hand grabbed the food. After dinner, Hubert's father tied the hose of the rake and held it up to Hubert's mouth to the window opening and tried to get a drink of water. It was not very successful, but he managed to get a few drops. Mrs. Prentice was worried. The next morning, she knocked on Hubert's door and said, "Hubert, what are you doing in there?" Hubert said, "I've got a bear pen made of the I got a bear pen made out of the bureau drawers, and my bed's the mother's bear house, and my train runs under the bed 13 times now." "Hubert, dear, don't you think you should come out soon?" asked his mother. Hubert said, "I don't want to come out. I like it in here. All my toys are out, and I can play with them at any old time I wanna. This is fun." His mother went downstairs and called Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle. Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle said, "Oh, but he will want to come out. You wait and see." That afternoon, at about 2 o'clock, there was music on the street, and children's voices laughing and calling, and pretty soon, right past Hubert's house, marched Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle and all the children, and right behind them came a circus parade. Hubert managed, by putting one foot in the bureau drawer and the other in the freight train car, to get up to the window and look out. He waved to Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, and she called, "Hurry, hurry, Hubert! We are going on a march all over town, and then we're all going to the circus." Hubert turned around quickly with the idea of getting out the door and joining the fun. But the freight car went scooting under the bed, and the bureau drawer tipped over and hit him smartly on the shins. Hubert began to cry and try to kick his way out of the door, but everything he kicked seemed to hit him back. He kicked the building and the block fell on his toe. He kicked the little builder off the office building, and it fell over and clotted him on the back of the head. He kicked a book, and it hit a lamp, which fell and knocked a heavy wooden elephant off the bedpost onto Hubert's shoulder. He could hear the music of the circus parade going fainter and fainter, and then he bawled louder and louder. Then he heard a tapping at the window. He crawled over and reached out. It was the rake with a note on it. He took the note and opened it. It said, "The only way you can get out of that trap is to put everything away where it belongs. If you hurry, we will wait for you. Your friend, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle." Hubert began by finding a little builder box. He took down the office building and put each piece in its right place. Then he put away all the stone blocks, then the train tracks, the circus, the soldiers, the paints and chemical set, the printing press, the books, the fire engines, the automobiles. He played little games pretending that he was racing someone to see who could find the most parts of the game the quickest. He had to take off the bedclothes and shake them in order to find the soldiers in the circus, and then he thought that as long as he had bedclothes were off, anyway, bedclothes are sheets, by the way. Bed sheets. It's just an old way of saying bed sheets. He might as well make his bed. It was so lumpy when he finished. He thought that he had left some airplanes in it and took off the covers again and shook them. He made the bed again, and this time it was neat and smooth. Hubert was proud. He was under his desk finding the last piece of the little builder when he heard the music again. He put the piece in the box and put the box in the closet. He tore down the stairs and out the front door. There they came, Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle, all the children, and the circus. Hubert ran out to meet them, and nobody said anything about the pan of orange paint stuck in his hair and the word Zeitpunkt printed on his cheek in purple ink. Anyway, away they went down the street, Hubert carrying the flag and yelling the loudest. Okay, so that is the end of chapter 2. Sounds like Hubert has been cured. Mrs. Piggle-Wiggle's got some tricks up her sleeve. All right, we'll see what happens next time.